Hi everybody, I'm Alessandro and welcome to On the Flame. Today I'm going to show you a very basic dish that many of you have probably made, chicken and potatoes, but I'm going to make it in my brick oven, and when you make it in a brick oven, everything changes and it tastes so much better. So these are the main ingredients for this recipe. If you want the full details, the recipe is in the description below. The first step is to start chopping. So here I have a medium-sized onion. I am going to give it a rough chop and add it to my bowl. Next, I'm going to rough chop some parsley as well. I am also going to add some rosemary, and this I'm going to chop more finely. By the way, if you're new to the channel, I do have another channel which is more established and it's been around for a while, where I build things, including this outdoor kitchen. I built the brick oven, I built the barbecue, and everything you see here. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out. The channel is called Artisan Made. I'll link it below in the description. Now I'm going to be adding some garlic. I'm going to be using about 4 cloves here, and I'm going to give it a rough chop and add it to my bowl. I am also going to be adding raisins to this dish, and I love adding raisins to certain recipes because it adds a whole nother layer of flavor. Oh, and I almost forgot, make sure you add some salt. And this next ingredient is optional, but I want to add a little bit of heat to this, so I have some chili peppers that are growing in my garden, so I'm going to cut a little bit of it up. If you're new to chili peppers, a little goes a long way, so better to have less than too much. I am just about finished with this part of the recipe. I am going to add some fresh ground black pepper, and then I am going to add my olive oil, which is going to marry all of these ingredients together. Give everything a stir and then add your chicken. I'm going to be using chicken thighs because I prefer brown meat, but you can use any part of the chicken that you like. For the best results, prepare this the night before and put all of this in a Ziploc bag with the chicken. If that's not possible, then let everything rest as long as possible before you start cooking. If you're going to cook this inside your kitchen in a standard oven, you can set it to about 375 Fahrenheit, covered for about 30 minutes, and then you can remove the cover and finish cooking it. Depending on your oven, anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes is the total cook time. Now, I'm obviously going to be cooking it here in my brick oven, and when you're cooking in a brick oven, it's a little more complicated. If you notice, I haven't mentioned anything about potatoes yet, and that is because potatoes cannot be cut too early and left out because they will begin to oxidize, which means they'll get brown. So we are going to add our potatoes to this recipe when it's time to begin the cooking process. There is one last ingredient to add here before we're ready to pot this and cook it, and that is white wine. Add some white wine and don't put it away because you're going to need more of it later on. If you're going to be cooking this in your brick oven, you can use anything that is stainless steel, or you can use what I'm using here, which is a cast iron pan. There are some other options as well, but those are more expensive, and we'll cover those perhaps in a future video. In a brick oven, there really is no easy way to control your heat, so you have to be careful. So I am waiting till everything starts to heat up, and then I am using aluminum foil to cover it because otherwise it will burn on the top. You can also pull the pan further away from the fire, closer to your oven opening, if you find that there is just too much heat and things are starting to cook too quickly. By the way, the temperature in the rear of the oven, which is the hottest part of the oven, is about 600 degrees Fahrenheit. It is important to check this frequently, and also make sure you rotate it, that way the pan is exposed on all sides to the hottest part of the oven where your flame is. As your chicken is cooking, the liquids are going to evaporate, so make sure you don't let it dry out, and to prevent that from happening, add more white wine from time to time. I wish I could give you specific instructions on how long to cook your chicken and when to take the cover off and when it'll be ready, but I just can't. There are just too many different variables when you're cooking in a brick oven. So my advice to you is to practice. You're going to make mistakes. I did as well, and I still do sometimes. The total cook time here was 50 minutes, and I took the cover off with 15 minutes remaining. A good way to gauge how cooked your food is in this situation is to taste the potatoes, and if the potatoes are soft, you're getting close. Really, really good. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like what you see, you're going to see a lot more of this coming up soon. If you're new here, please think about subscribing. Have a good one, everybody.